Following the police invitation of President of Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajaero, for questioning over allegations of criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, treasonable felony, subversion and cybercrime, more critical unions, which are NLC affiliates, have given strike notices to their members to proceed on indefinite strike should Ajaero be arrested. Among unions that had already given the strike notices to their members are the National Union of Electricity Employees, Nigeria Union of Teachers, and National Union of Textile, Garment and Tailoring Workers of Nigeria. Others include Iron and Steel Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Fitters of Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Nigeria Union of Agriculture and Allied Employees. To discuss this, we're joined by former National Coordinator, Middle Belt Patriots, Zariyi Yusuf. Zariyi, thank you for joining us. The NLC affiliates are given strike. It's a pleasure to have you. The NLC affiliates are given strike notices should Ajaero be arrested, not just in Nigeria. Off our shores, the US-based union have petitioned the Nigerian embassy, faulting the perceived harassment and persecution of trade unions and their leaders in Nigeria. We also know that Amnesty International, International Trade Union. What do you make of this show of solidarity?
Well, thank you so much. First of all, this show of solidarity tells you that the attempt, I don't know that to say by the federal government or by the regime that is currently in place to arrest the NLC leader is unpopular, is unwelcome, and to a large extent is unfounded, I would say, because clearly, as some people would ask, what specifically do you mean when you talk about terrorism financing, when you talk about treasonable felony, when you talk about subversion and all of the crimes they listed against him? So it appears to a large extent that even though I've never been so much of a fan of the industrial actions of the NLC, especially from the coming of this regime, but it appears to be the only body or the only aspect at the national level of our country that could basically question certain things, could basically reject certain things, could basically hold the government to account. Precisely, I'd say it's almost the last move at an absolute and a total state capture, where basically every aspect of the country is answerable to a particular individual, regardless what the consequences of the actions may be. So I think these organizations are doing more than what we would refer to as solidarity with Ajaero, and more of a solidarity to what would appear to be the last hope of Nigerians, regardless how good or bad their outings have been as NLC. But I think that is basically what the solidarity is all about. It's not exactly about the individual. Much as I would say from the end of the government, it is not the individual per se, but basically whatever will be done to NLC to basically put whoever heads that place or the body itself in line with regards to what subsequently we get to face in the country or what we get to receive from the government.
One of the accusations is that the federal government is using the police to try and undermine and intimidate NLC and its leadership with this allegation of financing terrorism. My guest yesterday on the news held similar view. He agrees that there is an effort to intimidate. I'm curious to your view. Do you believe that there is an effort to scuttle the NLC and the work that they are doing?
Yes, like I said earlier, the NLC appears to be the last platform that Nigerians could basically express themselves. Now, I would agree with his submission, your guest yesterday, and equally build on what I began saying. When you look at, the judiciary, you look at the legislature, of course, the executive is already headed by, the president. And everybody in that cabinet, everybody appointed is definitely going to dance to that particular tune. But the next body that you would hope will checkmate whatever exercise or excesses that comes from the executive arm would be the legislature, and then will be the judiciary. And as far as those two are concerned, those arms are concerned, I can assure you at least 110% of Nigerians do not expect anything. So now looking at the NLC, which, like I said, is the last resort or the body that has that seemingly appears to have the platform where Nigerians could basically express their grievance and all of that. Of course, people could do whatever they want to do without the NLC, but looking at it as that Congress that would do so. That's why I said it appears to be the last or the punch of the government to basically castrate, that body so that it falls in line, and then whatever happens basically goes, unchecked.
I think we have time for one more question for you. Going by the reactions so far and this show of solidarity to Ajaero and the union, do you expect any arrest come August 29, where when Ajaero honors the police invitation?
There two things are likely to happen. The first one is it's unlikely that Ajaero will refuse to honor the invitation. He had already said he'd go, and he does not have a track record of any criminality, best as we know to our understanding. Now, I have always seen this government as the government that would always take an extra step to test the resolve of the masses. So yes, I do see a tendency of attempting to arrest him, because they've done a couple of other things that have had far more profound impact on the masses than just arresting the NLC leader. So yes, I suspect they would want to arrest him, and getting away with that would simply mean the very last point of any mass action or any threats to any industrial action has now become ineffective against the government. So they would attempt to do that, to dare whatever it is the rest of the unions threatening to do, to see whatever they would do. That's one thing. And then what other thing I suspect is that they are threatening to do so so that at least they get to summon him, and then they get to put him in check. Maybe they threaten arrest just as a way of forcing him to just show up, and then keeping the label, the NLC and the rest of the unions in check. And I think it spells. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I was just trying to butt in. Thank you very much, as always, for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you so much.